Today on Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat, Dave Osgood heads over to MCU to see his fully restored 20-foot Shamrock for the very first time.
Oh my goodness. Holy mackerel. Wow.
Florida Sportsman boating editor George LaBonte heads out with Michael Mattson, owner of a classic 20-foot Seacraft, to discuss how he redesigned the boat from the bottom up.
This boat was hands down the nicest 20 Seacraft I've ever seen rebuilt.
And Brian at MCU meets with the owner of a 23-foot Dorado, who's looking to make some major modifications that will better suit his lifestyle.
He thinks everything's okay, everything works, and it's fine. But I know where this is going to go, trust me.
All coming up on Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. Over the past few weeks, the team at MCU has completely transformed the 20-foot Shamrock project from coming in with a blown engine, plain dangerous wiring, a flimsy starboard console, and faded gel coat, to restoring the boat with a high-gloss coat of flag blue all-grip paint, a brand-new 350 crate engine, marine-grade wiring, a custom-designed center console, and a yacht-quality high-end fit and finish.
All right, so we're finally here. It's the 20-foot Shamrock reveal day. I had Robbie out there cleaning the boat up, getting it to its 10s. I really wanted this boat to look great for Dave. Before you know it, Dave and his son showed up. So I brought him back to see the boat for the first time.
Oh my gosh. That looks spectacular.
So is it what you envisioned or what?
This is it, man. I told you we had good bones to work with. This is unbelievable.
This boat started off at like a really low budget, and as it was coming along, it turned into something even I didn't even expect. I'm pretty sure this boat totally exceeded his expectations.
Talk to me about this. This is cool.
C-deck. C-deck
Very
helm pad,
nice.
you take your feet off, you take your shoes off, you stand on it, it's like a little cush pad to stand, it's really nice. As soon as he looks inside, he notices this C-deck helm pad that I had Open Water Concepts customized for me. With all the little teak extras that we put in the boat, this was something I just had to put in there, and I think he really appreciated it. Dave, as it was coming together, I was like, well, I was making some starboard hatches for the boat, and I was like, you know what this boat needs? It needs teak. So I went ahead and I had the teak vents. I ordered those. Then I looked into some hatches. I was gonna build some hatches. They didn't have anything that you could buy pre-made that would work that were ventilated. So I ordered more vents, and I built those hatches to work with the vents, and I inserted them into the hatch. So that way we could ventilate the engine compartment that's in the cooler, and you can ventilate the forward compartment up in the anchor lock. So I also walked Dave around the boat and showed him some of the nice custom stainless steel accents that we added to the boat, like the rub rail, the handrails, the cup holders, and the rod holders. The trim, the stainless, just came out so beautiful. When I got to the rod holders, I actually couldn't fit too many options. So I went with the Lees because they have a unique design. And they're very classic and they're custom. I really think it fits the boat awesome.
These look top notch. All right, I want to get on it.
So normally I like to take people down to the ramp and put them in the boat and get on the inside. Dave couldn't hold back. He jumped right up into the boat. I think it was some of those touches I did, like the custom embroidery. He loved that stuff. He wasn't expecting it, especially with that little budget he had. But this boat was coming out so nice, I couldn't hold back with some of these extras. I just had to do it.
Oh, look at the name on the front. This is everything.
It's sexy, I'll tell you that.
That is sexy.
So as Dave stands back, he's looking at the helm. Now he's looking at something that was never in his boat before. We made this console from scratch. He was totally taken back. You gotta remember, that old starboard console he had in there all screwed together that someone made in their backyard, that thing looked like trash. Now he's got this custom, unique Euro style console. It's all molded into the boat. He's seeing things he's never seen before and he's totally taken back. How's it feel? It feels nice, doesn't it?
This feels unbelievable. The electronics, perfect.
So when the boat first came here, it had a blown engine, not to mention a bunch of house wire and rat's nests inside the console. There wasn't much to really look at. Now, he's excited. He wants to see this new engine. So I showed him how to open the console so he could check it out for himself. That's all custom made. We built all of this.
Oh my goodness. Holy mackerel. Wow. Steve did a
Everything's
masterful job.
So Dave's walking around the boat. He's looking at all the finish touches. He's totally blown away. He's got this look on his face. It's just like he can't believe it. It's pretty awesome.
So these were Bennett trim tabs.
Yep.
And it's separate controls and monitors.
The control's up there, and it's got lights, so you know where your trim tab is.
Nice.
Dave was really enjoying checking out this boat sitting on the trailer at the shop, but you really don't get the full experience of this thing until you get it in the water and fire that engine up. So we brought it down to the ramp and splashed it. So we're in the boat idling out to the intercoastal. Dave's checking out all the cool features. He's looking at the electronics. He's just loving this thing. I had to tell him to hold back a minute. I'm actually gonna take the wheel. I'm gonna show you how to take this thing and run it. This boat is not a normal 20-foot Shamrock. We put a ton of horsepower in it. I was so glad I found a set of trim tabs that actually fit the transom of this boat with the swim platform, because this thing really does boogity boogity. So after I showed Dave the ropes and gave him a little heads up on how to run the boat, he took the wheel. We were running up and down the intercoastal. If I wouldn't have told him I had to get back to work, I think we would have been there all day. He was like a kid in a candy store. He was so excited. So we wrapped up things on the boat, we got it back to the shop, and it was time for Dave to head out. I thought after seeing that boat all clean and on the water, the best thing to do would be give Dave some cleaning supplies that he'd be able to maintain and take care of that boat and keeping it looking new. For the money he spent and put into this thing from what he originally thought he was going to spend, he's going to want this thing looking brand new for a long time. And I'm sure these Surehold products are going to help him keep it looking that way.
Unbelievable. Brian and his team at Marine Customs, Mike, Steve, the whole team, just absolutely knocked the cover off the ball. I had a vision for what this thing could be, and they exponentially exceeded it.
All right, another completed job for Marine Customs. My guys hit it out of the park. They did an awesome job. I hope Dave gets to enjoy this boat for many years to come. This thing came out awesome, and I'm looking forward to the next big project.
When we return, FS Boating editor George LaBonte joins Dreamboat owner Michael Mattson aboard his classic 20-foot Seacraft in this week's One Man's Dreamboat segment. This segment brought to you by Bennett Marine, superior by design.
50 years ago, Bennett Marine changed boating forever, inventing the trim tab, getting you on plane faster, improving fuel efficiency and performance, balancing loads. Today, more than 1 million systems later worldwide, boats all sizes. Bennett Innovation, durable and dependable trim tabs and hatch lifters. Your only source for both hydraulic and electric systems. Bennett Trim Tabs, superior by design, legendary service. Enjoy the ride.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. Join us for this week's One Man's Dreamboat segment with Florida Sportsman boating editor George LaBonte as we feature anglers who have already launched their dream. Florida Sportsman began these features 30 years ago, and the dreams just keep getting better.
Today we're going to visit with Captain Michael Mattson. Michael runs a 63-foot Garlington sport fish boat and has an extensive background in fishing offshore. Michael wanted a boat he could use inshore for fishing, tarpon, backwater fishing, at the same time be able to take it offshore. The 20-foot Seacraft and its easy ride and fishability was a logical choice. Well, Michael, I'm in love with your boat, for starters. We're sitting on your 1970 20-foot Seacraft, originally a Potter-built 4-stringer 20 Seacraft, as you said, that looked like basically a garden experiment when you got the boat. I mean, literally trees growing in it.
It did. I was inspired by a couple boats I'd seen that people had customized and turned into bay boats, and I wanted to be able to tow it down to Florida easily, and that would be a really manageable one-man boat.
Okay, let me back you up a little bit. You were looking for a boat that was a bay-style boat, but you also wanted the ride of a kind of an offshore type of boat. This is how you landed on the 20 Seacraft, no?
I did. I wanted a performance hull. I wanted something that I could really take out in a 2 to 3 foot chop and just not get beat up, but still be able to slide into 18, 20-inch flats and fish for redfish, snook, tarpon, and kind of have it be a hybrid boat.
So this is kind of an all-purpose inshore near shore type of boat for you. You've done a bunch of different stuff to the boat that's unlike anything I've ever seen on a Seacraft, including the changing the shape, I mean cutting the shear line down. Tell me a little bit about your vision for the whole inside of the boat.
Cap and the deck weren't even going to be included in my rebuild. The only thing I wanted on this boat was the hull shell. And first thing we did is we took the Sawzalls and chainsaw to it and ripped everything out. And I wanted it to look pretty similar to the Sportfish I run. I wanted it to have the lines of a Garlington.
And it does.
It turned out to be a really good looking hull design and shape.
Well, tell me a little bit more about how you decided to lay out the deck here. I mean, this is a monolithic design there. It's not a decks and cap and, you know, interliner type of boat. This is all one piece. Tell me about the layout.
I decided to do a flat flush deck from the transom all the way to the bow, so there's no step up, so it was easy to fish. We weren't tripping on a raised deck here. I extended the aft deck to make a casting deck and the bow deck. I just wanted it to be fishable. I wanted to have walk-around gunnels. And so with that, I took out the interliner, threw away the cap, and started with putting in the new stringers and fuel tanks and transom. And it provided a little bit more interior room and under gunnel space for under gunnel rod storage, and designed the cap off of the deck floor so you can walk around and your toes are never hitting your gunnels.
And other than that, I mean, the way everything else is, it's very simple and open inside. You've got plenty of storage. You've got hatches for anchor. You've got hatches to stow, life jackets and various tackle items. You've got a beautiful live well there in your leaning post there, which is awesome. And a nice trim console with plenty of room to work around it. I mean, it's just a well thought out boat. Where's your head right now as far as how the boat turned out?
It does everything I wanted the boat to do, plus some. And I mean, the ride is unbelievable. It's very fishable, and it's just a very functioning boat.
Michael, one of the things that you've done here too is you actually replaced the transom here, but you've closed in the transom and added a bracket.
With the bracket, like I said, it's a big debate between people as to whether it increases performance or hampers the performance of the boat, but it extends the overall length of the boat. I can run the motor higher, giving the boat a shallower draft, and it seems to increase the top end performance on the boat. The boat will just get up on top of a 2-foot, 3-foot chop now.
Today we got a chance to run it around the Indian River Lagoon and Stewart Inlet a little bit here. Yet we're able to get in shallower water. We kind of drifted around a little bit, and we fished up in 1.5 or 2 feet of water without any issues and drifted over that.
It's a very good all-around performer, and I'm very satisfied with how the operations and performance of the boat turned out.
Well, Michael, I've had a great time with you today. I sure do appreciate you taking the time out of your busy sport fish captain schedule to have us out on the boat and give us a look at what you've done. You've done a phenomenal job with the boat, and I mean, I couldn't be more impressed.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to come out here and share the boat and share my project with everybody else.
Well, it's definitely a thing of beauty.
Thank you.
This boat was hands down the nicest 20 Seacraft I've ever seen rebuilt. The look of this boat, fit and finish wise, had every detail and quality you'd expect to find in a boat built in a custom sport fish boatyard.
When we return, Brian at MCU meets with a customer who's looking to give his Ranger bass boat a quick and easy refresh. This segment brought to you by Surehold. Clean and simple.
The ultimate bucket list. Let's start with an ergonomic corrosion-free rope handle. Check. You want a caddy to organize your supplies and lift them out with ease. Check. Add in a bucket grate to elevate wash tools out of dirty water. Check. While you're at it, let's include integrated soap measuring cups. Check. How about a base that won't let your bucket scratch, tip, or slip? Check. Top it off with a secure lid that doubles as a place to sit down. Check and check. The Surehold One Bucket System for everything on your bucket list. Visit onebucket.com.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. Join us as Brian at MCU meets with a customer who is looking to refresh his Ranger bass boat with new sea deck.
So I got a call from a guy named George. He's got a Ranger bass boat. He has a problem with the decking in the boat. I was able to go out and look at it and give him my professional opinion. All right, George, you got a mess here. What's going on? This looks like an old I don't know, some kind of old foam deck thing or something. It's like all falling apart.
So Brian, that's exactly what's happening. This decking's been in here for about 7 years now, and with the Florida sun and salt and everything, it really gets used a lot, and the abuse as far as that goes. So after 7 years, I'm at the point that I need to either put in a new decking here or figure something out. So I figured the easiest route to do is to put some new sea decking into it. What's your thoughts on?
Yeah, that's gonna be the ticket. I'm gonna tell you right now, this isn't sea deck. This is like some prototype thing or something, because where the lines and splices meet, it doesn't, I don't know, it's kind of funky. I don't like the way it's falling apart on you. So we've got to get this stripped out of here. This is gonna be a huge job. We're gonna have to let those guys over at Open Water Concepts give this thing a good overall look to get a real good idea how they want to fill in all this stuff and make it flow and blend right.
Well, Brian, that sounds great. I certainly appreciate your expertise in leading me in the right direction with that. We'll go over to Open Water Concepts and we'll see what they have to say.
All right, buddy, sounds good.
Thank you.
So George came in with his '98 Ranger. Apparently sometime down the line he had some foam decking put on it from an off-brand. So what he did is he stripped it all down, got it ready for us. When he exposed it, actually exposed a lot of bare fiberglass and some other imperfections that he wanted to cover with some sea deck. So in order to get the entire top deck, the floor in there, we have a scanner that we use that basically plots points wherever we want the sea deck to go. From there, we scan the bow, we scan the back hatches, and then the cockpit floor. We bring it onto our computer system and we kind of mesh all of the pieces together, and then basically use it as a template to go in the CAD software and trace lines and straighten everything out to exactly the way that we need it. So we got it through our CAD process, posted it to the machine, cut it out, everything went well. And then there were some challenges as far as installing it. Definitely wanted to make sure that we covered all of that raw fiberglass, get it as close to the edges as possible around the unfinished areas. It took a little bit longer than what we thought it was going to be, but we all kind of came together as a group and we were able to get it done. And it's a great application if you don't want to spray your whole boat, you don't want to shoot brand new non-skid, you don't want to do a lot of that prep work and some other things. You know, it's an easy solution and it's going to last a long, long time. So George was telling us that that boat has seen anything from Dorados to the Colorado River. What's really nice about Sea Deck is that saltwater, freshwater, wherever you take it, you know, it's gonna perform the same way. If you're on the boat all day, you know, it really takes the wear and tear off of your knees and gives you a little cushion while you're out there. George loved it. When it first came in, it was in rough shape for sure. I mean, fiberglass was exposed, paint wasn't looking too good. We covered a ton of those imperfections, and he was excited. He came in with a huge smile on his face, and he said he's ready to take it fishing.
When we come back, Brian meets with Al Cowan, the owner of a 23-foot Dorado who is looking to have MCU tailor the boat to his lifestyle. This segment brought to you by All Grip. Let your imagination run wild.
All Grip is the premier yacht coating that delivers the distinctive, high-gloss, long-lasting finish for pleasure boats big and small. Make your boat look beautiful while protecting it against the elements with an endless possibility of color choices. Let your imagination run wild.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. Join us as Brian at MCU meets with Al Cowan, who's looking to update the look and feel of his family boat, a 23-foot Dorado.
So I had a gentleman come into the shop today. His name was Al Cowan. He had a 23 Dorado. He had a list of items. He was thinking about redoing his boat, and he wanted to go over these things. So I see his big name on the side of the boat. It says Dorado. So I asked him, I said, what's the history of this thing? I want to know about it. Tell me about your boat.
The history of the boat's unique in that I won the boat in 1998.
You won it?
I won it kingfishing.
Oh, really?
And this was the second one that I won.
Second?
I was fishing in the first one when I won the second.
All right, I don't fish. Next tournament, you're on my boat.
No problem.
That's it. So as he's telling me about the boat, he says he won it. He actually won it at a fishing tournament. Not only one boat, but the boat before this he won also. This guy knows how to fish. I think I need to have him teach me how to fish so I can win a boat.
So I'm a single owner. I've owned it since 1998. put the tower on with a dual station,
Okay.
and basically raised my 2 boys and my daughter in this boat. Okay. I'm empty nested now.
Nice. So you got a lot of money to spend on the boat.
Well, I got more money to spend on the boat than I otherwise would.
So after talking to Al and realizing he's got some sentimental value attached to this vessel, it obviously makes sense to go ahead and rebuild this boat versus buying a new one. So we're gonna stick with what we got, and we're gonna go over his list and find out what his budget is.
So now it's how do we best spend the money? So the thoughts we have, obviously, repower or not repower. I mean,
Okay.
The engine is
What year are we on the engine?
06, but it's only been on the boat since 08. It's got just under 1,000 hours. I'm not opposed to repowering, but on the priority list.
Are you happy with the power?
Absolutely.
All right, so don't repower. We're not gonna repower this boat. We're gonna apply all the money that would have went into the repower into the redo of the boat. And I think it's gonna get him a lot further with all the restoration work.
We are going to look at taking this dual station tower off, okay, and go back with more of a much lighter weight T-top, traditional type T-top. I don't need 2 stations anymore. I'm not out cowboy fishing anymore.
Yeah.
I'm more of a sandbar guy now.
No, that'll be perfect. And Bobby will do a really nice job. He just finished a contender I got over here. I'll go show it to you. You can take a look at it. I'm thinking right away, all right, I'm gonna get Bobby at Birdsall to lay me out, custom design me a really nice top for him, and it's gonna look awesome on his boat. Then we got up to the helm area, and Al went right to his list. He's thought this thing out, he's had it all figured out, he knows what he wants to do. He didn't let me get a word in. He's like, I want this, I want this, I want this. I'm like, okay.
The helm station here, we want to get rid of the old cable system binnacle, go with a Yamaha binnacle.
Yep.
I would like new gauges
Okay.
and update this entire console. Keeping in mind this is going away. This electronics box is going away, and so we'll have kind of a blank canvas here.
How are you with electronics?
My switches, electronics, all...
Everything's good with the wiring in the boat?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
I'm looking at the old dash panel and the switches, and I'm thinking, yeah, this boat needs a rewire. Al doesn't seem to think so. He thinks everything's okay, everything works, and it's fine. But I know where this is gonna go, trust me.
I mean, I'm going to need new trim tabs.
Okay.
I really like the Bennett trim tabs. These are 18 years old, and they've held up very well, and I think we need to just update them and get
Not a problem. They
electric.
actually have an electric one now that we could do, and you could upgrade. We can get rid of the pump, so you don't have to have the hydraulic pump anymore.
Perfect.
So after talking with Al, I've realized one thing. He's leaving the boat here with me. He told me no matter what with the budget and how everything else balances out, he's got things he definitely wants done. So with that being said, I told him he needs to take the boat down to Bobby at Birdsall and have it looked at. That was one of the main components, and I want to make sure they come up with a design and a configuration that's going to work with all the other things Al wants done. Then I'll know what I have to do, and we can figure out this budget and get a final number together, and then we'll know how much work we're actually going to be doing.
Next week on Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. The 23-foot Dorado project gets a custom T-top built by Birdsall Marine Design. Florida Sportsman boating editor George LaBonte heads out with Rick Riles, owner of a Young 27, to discuss how he customized the boat for multiple types of fishing. And the 23-foot Dorado gets some much-needed attention in the paint bay at MCU. The filming of Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat has been shot on location at Marine Customs Unlimited. You dream it, we build it.